Look what I got in the mail today, a new video card, nice and short. Hopefully it won't display any lines in Doom, like this card over here, based on the same chipset. Slightly different, RAM soldered directly on, the BIOS chips on these ones socketed. However, there is a problem, and it's not a very good problem. I'll just quickly hook it in and show you. So at the moment we've got not much in there except Snazamy down the end. No, that's not Snazamy, that's good old emulation card. Left-handed install, there you go. Anything's possible. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? If you look up here, there's something there. So to me, if I had to have a guess, I would say that is a VRAM issue, video RAM. So what I'm going to do is, because unfortunately these ones are quite soldered on and a different form factor, sort of stops that idea, I can't use that. So I've got this little fella over here, which we know works, and we've got 4 RAM chips there. There's a chance they're not the same. I know these ones are 80 nanosecond, those are 70. So trying those RAM chips in here. No, hard drive controller failed, I bet. Let's see where the cursor is there. So the reason I think it's VRAM is I've seen similar things like this with well, actually, before I started this video, I actually did a quick test by removing one of the chips on here, and you just get gibberish. Same with the Mega Drive with cartridges with EEPROMs on them. Move an EEPROM, something goes wrong. Could be graphics, could be sound, could be gameplay. In my case, it was video. There's a video on that somewhere. Back and have a look, have a dig through the history, if you're interested. So we're going to give that a try, and we'll just see what happens. So I'm going to try the 2 cards with the VRAM swapped around on both, and we'll see what happens. If I press F1, that cursor should disappear. Bingo! Now we're at good old blinky line box screen. Oh, this video card cost $1. Shipping cost me 8 times that, so gives you an idea. Also got another VGA card, had some VRAM on it. Should investigate that one as well. Actually, I'm going to start stealing chips off this because they're 60 nanosecond, so they should be a bit better. There's no bracket on there. Yeah. Kids. Still $1, what do you do? There's that card without the bracket on it with its current configuration, which obviously isn't quite right. Giving them a 4 out of 6 chips or something. Nah. Oh man, this is fun. This is different. That was using the RAM off the one without the PCI bracket. I mean, I guess ISA bracket. I've always known them as PCI brackets. Mind blown. No, that's using the VRAM off the Oak video cards. I guess all VRAM is not created equal. Ah, damn. So much for a quick, easy fix. So I popped the Oak video card in with the VRAM that was on that card, and clean, which indicates there is something else wrong. So now we move on to more advanced troubleshooting involving methylated spirits and clean tracks. There is a little bit of corrosion I found on the back of the board. I'll just see if I can get a bit of a focus on that. Could be causing an issue. It was a bit worse, I did clean it up a little bit already. This sort of area. So I don't know what on earth leaked onto it to corrode it. But there must have been something at some point. So, there we go. Told you that was the error message. So we continue. Well, I gave up on that one pretty easy. It was doing some strange things. You removed the BIOS chip, Quadtel BIOS chip. Balance that guy there, and it will do the same thing. So I'm thinking that these solder joints on the back are pretty bad. I tried fixing it, but I didn't have much luck. And it's very late, so I'm out of patience. So I took the RAM off, and I've put it onto that card. Can't really see it. But there was 1 megabyte on board and 8 slots for the RAM. So I put in 60 and 70 nanosecond RAM. The onboard RAM is 60 nanoseconds, so there may be problems there, but let's hope there isn't, because the only other stuff I have is 80, which is just not going to cut it. So when we turn it on now, this is a Trident based card as well, 2048, which means we have more memory for the RAM on the video card, which, you know, DOS games and stuff probably isn't going to have too much of an effect. But, you know, every bit counts. So what I'm going to do now is, because I wanted this card in particular. I swear I had one of these lying around and I cannot find it for the life of me. Wonder what happened to it. Anyway, the card is a very nice length. As you'll see with this oak one, it's a little bit longer. Even this one, you can switch the BIOS chips between them, which is good. Even though the card is completely different. What was I talking about? Yeah, the card length. So this card's VLB, this video card. My biggest problem there is that it's quite long, and I wanted to put something else there. Yeah, that's right, I want to put the IDE controller. But I've got some other cards I can try. Maybe pop an IDE controller in there. That slot. Oh, that slot. See if I can fit it in. Hoping I can. And then we'll go with Gravis in that slot there. Should work well. I hope the other hard drive controller cards support disk-on modules. Let's find out. Okay, so now we're rocking a Boom Gold Star Prime 2 with the disk-on module directly attached. It's also got a floppy drive controller on there. What I'm going to do is I haven't connected the floppy drives, which I probably should do. That means it's detected a hard drive. How's that going to run? Is that going to give us what we want? Ha 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 ha. It is. Which is fantastic. Yeah, nothing works, we know. No one cares. 2 gigabytes, fantastic. And as you can see, that card is quite short. I don't know what use a 16-bit ISA/VLB controller card is in comparison to that. I mean, it does have 2 connectors here for up to 4 drives, I suppose, and you've got floppy drives down there, and a joystick? Yeah, joystick. A couple of COM ports. That actually works really well. I actually bought these cards originally for the Terra drive, but it didn't work because it didn't disable the onboard BIOS or override the hard drive area. Whereas on this it's fantastic because there is no onboard IDE controller, which works quite well. I've got to say, I like this method more because you can pick and choose, but I guess over time, eventually they just became much of the same. So that's good news. So yeah, I'll be connecting the optical drives into the Gravis Ultrasound, which I remembered had, what's it got? Panasonic, Mitsumi and Sony connectors. So I believe Panasonic would be the right ones in this case. So hopefully that'll work, and then I'll have 2 optical drives and the whole configuration will work, which is really good. So I'm gonna keep putting it back together right now. Damn, it is getting crowded in here. So Mega CD emulation, Gravis, VLB Trident, SNASM 2 card, Sound Blaster Pro 2, and Gold Star IDE card. Doesn't it look great? All powered by a beautiful Intel Overdrive. 64 mega RAM on a sesame seed bun. So that's pretty impressive from the back as well. I mean, I've got 3 joystick ports. I wonder if any of them are going to conflict with each other. Bracket just fell to the ground. So there you go, that's where we're at the moment. So the Sound Blaster is configured correctly, the Gravis is configured mostly correctly. I need to work out how to get the CD drive going, but we're making progress. And the SNASM card is recognised on most boots. Must just be a timing thing where it doesn't recognise. And the ports at the back, those 2 work. That one doesn't. Didn't have anywhere to plug it into because I've already got one on that IDE card. And the Sound Blaster audio goes out and into the Gravis. So looking pretty good. Pretty cool the way everything works. So as you can see, I ended up with enough clearance. Another problem was the overdrive CPU. If you had a DX2 with no heatsink, 66 megahertz, say, no problem. These cards would run over the top of the CPU, but here's the kicker. The Overdrive 100 has a very large heatsink, very tall. Might as well have a fan on it. But everything else is working. So at the moment we've got 2 8-bit slots free, which I don't really need. I actually did end up putting the Sound Blaster Pro 2 in the 16-bit slot that had a bit of corrosion. You're probably going to hate me for this, but I used a bit of sandpaper just to clean it up because I had no other way of doing it. And it seems to have worked. Yeah, might cause more problems in the long term, but given that port was a write-off anyway, it's better than nothing. And I can always just move the card. Actually, I can't. The problem I ran into there is that this disc-on module sticks up too much. It blocks the card. You take the good with the bad. So I've got to get these CD drives working, and then that's a wrap. Finally have it up and running. 100%.